Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Code7. We are honored today to have Rabbi Lazer Shemtov, the head shliach of Chabad of Uruguay, the author of many books. One of his books are right here, actually. We have Dear Rabbi, Why? What do we got? Dear Rabbi, Why Can't I Marry Her? Right? About intermarriage, Jewish, and the other religions. He's written 6 books, is it?
Yeah, it's written a little more. Just published 6 by now. But some are in the works already to
6 to 20, somewhere.
So we have more exciting things to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good, very good. So we are here to discuss the Sheva Mizvos, but when 3 Chassidim get together, we are here to make a Fabrengen. So L'chaim, Rabbi Lazer, thank you for joining us. Rabbi, a pleasure. L'chaim. This should be Hatzlacha in this project.
Amen.
That the world should know, the Sheva Mizvos, and we should get on that page of oneness, Emir Tashem.
Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. So, we are here today to discuss with Rabbi Lazer. We had many topics that we wanted to go over. I think to begin, it would be good to know, why has the Sheva Mizvos not been a thing up until now? The Rebbe spoke about it. Chassidim have read it in all the sichos. Why not yet? Where's the momentum?
That's a very good question. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. So I guess some things have to be revolutionary, and some may be evolutionary. I once heard an interesting concept from Rabbi Shapsi Halper in the head shliach in Brazil. We say in Shema, "V'hoya dvarim ha'ele asher nechim hayom alev on your heart." Why say on your heart? It should be in your heart. Why on your heart? She says you cannot put things into people's hearts, like a seed. You place it on the heart, and when the heart opens one day, the seed falls in, germinates, and grows. So the Rebbe gave us many such seeds. If you look through the Hayom Yom, the introduction, Shalshelas Hayachas, which people generally, or I always thought it to mean the pedigree of the Rabbi, like, right? But if you look, it doesn't say Shalshelas Hayichos. It doesn't say the development or the evolution or the chain of yichus, but it says Shalshelas Hayachas. So I don't know. I understood it to mean it's like the development of the relationship between the
Yachas means connection,
relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
The yachas.
Right.
So it's like the development of the relationship between the Rabbeim and the world and Chassidim, right? So we see the Rebbe's relationship with Chassidim is tremendous if you just read all the things that the Rebbe introduced. Now, some of those have taken flight right away, and some of them are there waiting for the right person to maybe look to see what he should do with his life, and goes
There's
through.
a mission waiting for you.
And there's a mission waiting, exactly.
Right.
In other words, the Rebbe put out there for us anything that needs to be done.
Right.
There's nothing more that needs to be done. If you do all these things,
You'll be good.
you'll be good. We'll get to where we need to get.
The world will be
We'll
good.
get to where we need to get to. Now,
Right.
not everybody is capable of doing everything. But there will be somebody for everything that's on that list. So I guess this is waiting for you. Maybe it's like the other day.
Code7, picking up the seeds.
The other day, I had this yeshiva boy wrote to me with some questions he had about Munah, about God, Torah, Judaism, and he said, he asked people and nobody had answers for him, so he's kind of disappointed with Judaism and he wants to drop the whole thing.
This is the Frumbacher we're talking
Frumbacher, yeah. So I say, something? I used to think like you when I was in yeshiva and asked questions that my teachers couldn't answer. So I was pretty much disappointed until one day I thought to myself, if I am smarter than my teachers and they don't have the answers to my questions, I need to find someone smarter than them to find the answer, and that's me. So the answer to these questions
Let's go find the answer.
is for me to discover. So instead of being disappointed with their inability to answer my brilliant questions, I am now motivated to find
up your game to find
the
the
answer
answer
to these brilliant questions.
Brilliant.
So that is the idea. So basically, so that's what I'm saying. Therefore, when you say there's a project that wasn't done, if you have the question, why wasn't this done? It's
Get up
because
and
it's
do
for
it.
you.
There you go.
It's because it's for you. It's because like Moshe Rabbeinu with the sneh, what happened? There's a very interesting thing there, diuk, right? It says, Moshe Rabbeinu passed by, saw the sneh, and he stopped to look at it, And the pasuk says that the Eibishter said, "Vayara Hashem kisor lireis." The Eibishter saw that Moshe Rabbeinu stopped to look at it. So I once heard from my father an explanation. I don't know what he based it on, if it's based on something else or it's his own. No, or if it's
B'Shem
all.
Amar, the father.
What?
B'Shem Amar, your father.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like Rashi begins his Pirush and Torah. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Who was this Rabbi Yitzchak?
Father.
His father.
Right.
Okay, so I heard this from my father, and so he said, what was the thing? The Eibishter saw that Moshe Rabbeinu stopped to look. What does it mean? Perhaps many people passed by, didn't pay attention. But the fact that it caught Moshe Rabbeinu's attention and resonated with him, that showed that he had some kind of connection to this
And that's
whole...
again the yachas.
That's the point, the yachas. So
Right.
therefore, so maybe it's another level in the yachas concept, that is that Shashelas HaYachas isn't only the Rebbe's relationship with us, but it's the opportunities the Rebbe gives us to relate, and that depends on each individual person.
Right.
So if anybody comes and says, I don't relate to anything Chabad has done until now, I will tell them, okay, here's the catalog. Go through it. Go through it.
See which mission calls to you.
Find something that you feel has been ignored and shouldn't be ignored, and there you go.
I love it. I love it. It's very tremendous. So it's very interesting. I like that you're saying that the seeds are there. We need to pick it up. And maybe also, Hashgacha Pratis, things only unwind when they're able to. Maybe now the world, the way social media is, so with one text you could get everywhere. The way we right now could sit and produce a podcast in Crown Heights in some basement, like these things weren't necessarily available. And we're talking about a global reach. So maybe this is B'davka. The seed was sitting, waiting for the tech to be there, for the world to be there. And here we are. So we're getting the conversation started, and it's very exciting. And we're off to a great start. So Shkayach, to make this Chassidish for bringing and to bring mitzvahs and God into this, we're going to... I was going to say we're going to do some tzedakah. We're going to make another l'chaim. I love that. Let me re-up mine as well. Oh, it's amazing. L'chaim Chaveh. That we should have a yachas to the Rebbe and the missions. L'chaim.
L'chaim L'Vrocha.
We're trying to talk about, that everybody should get on this one page of Sheva Mizvos, and we're trying to talk to the presidents and the senators and their communities and their countries. We're trying to get this moving, but there is a distinction. There's we are all one, but you have 7, I have 613. There is still, I'm a Yid. This is not Jewish. What is that? What is the difference? If we're saying that everybody's the same from a Tzelem Elokim perspective, and that's why we have one universal code, what's then the distinction? You have Yidden on this side, you have Goyim on that side. It makes it difficult almost to have this Sheva Mitzvos conversation. We talk to somebody, hey, Mr. President, yes, these are great ideas, but we're a little different. It gets, how do you navigate that? What's that idea? Or what's the distinction between Yidden and Goyim in their mission from God or something?
When I published this book on intermarriage, right, how did it start? One day I got an email from this Catholic boy who writes to me, why are Jews bigoted and why do we discriminate? He has a Jewish girlfriend and her parents won't look at him just because he's not Jewish. So
Clear discrimination. You're not
clear.
Jewish, can't
He
marry
said,
my
you
daughter.
Jews suffer discrimination throughout your history now. You're the guys discriminating.
Right.
I mean, what's going on?
Valid question.
What's the deal?
Right.
What's going on? So I wrote back to him, and we had an exchange over 2 years, probably, 40 emails, and that's half the book. The other half is a Catholic girl who had a Jewish boyfriend who dropped her, and she wanted to know why, so that was another. And then there's a whole article there explaining the whole idea of intermarriage, which predates this whole dialogue, which is probably what provoked it. Maybe that's what he found online, whatever. Anyway. So when this book came out, it created a very big sensation in Uruguay because it's a subject that nobody discussed openly, and there was to the degree that even in the Jewish schools they wouldn't allow me to talk about it because, they would allow me to talk about anything, but not who is a Jew, what is a Jew, don't go there. All right. Anyway, so as a result of this book being published, so there was interviews. So there was an interview on the television station called, had an interview, and the guy just starts out and says, you say in your book you have a different souls. What is this about Jews being different? It sounds like very racist, elitist. I don't know if he at that point kind of also mentioned the Nazis who thought themselves super, and now you're the super race. Right. So I said, okay, thank you very much for your question. I'll explain to you what it is all about. I said, the first precept that the Jews received from God, the first command was to count time according to the lunar cycle. Why is that so important, so relevant? What point of reference you use to count the passage of time? Time passes at the same speed no matter, what,
Sun, moon,
whatever point of reference. So our sages explain that in this commandment, God expressed the business plan for the Jewish people. In other words, why the Jewish people would be not just another nation, but a different nation. What is the difference? What does that mean? So what's the difference between the sun and the moon? In other words, all nations would count their time, their count would be based on the sun, and we would count on the moon. Why is that significant? Because what's the difference between the sun and the moon? The sun illuminates with its own light, and the moon illuminates with a reflected light. So the nature of every human being is to show his own greatness. Look how great I am, how powerful, how beautiful, how rich, how smart, how this, how that. I'm somebody. And nations also, they compete in the Olympics and the World Cup. The football, the soccer cup every 4 years, and the billions of dollars. What? Just to show how great they are.
Right.
That's human nature, and that's fine. If not for that, nothing would progress.
It promotes,
But God wanted also another nation that would dedicate its life to illuminating the world with His greatness, not with their greatness. So He gave us a code of law. By living this code of law, we would reflect God's presence and greatness in the world to enhance the lives of everybody else around us as well. In other words, so basically the difference between a Jewish soul and a non-Jewish soul is a non-Jewish soul strives to be somebody. And a Jewish soul strives to be nobody. A Jewish soul strives a reflection that does not interfere with God's
out of the way
life.
as most of you
To get
can.
out of the way. So if you want to convert and become a nobody like me, you're welcome.
Go mevatel your entire entity, and you're welcome.
Thank you for the. And let's close it with tzedakah at least.
Right. We meant it. The l'chaim derailed us.
Yeah.
There we are. All right. Mitzvahs, shkayach.
Okay, so thank you very much.